you are at the power hammer and the gravity drop hammer. Okay, so see, in the forging, the main important equipments in the forging is the hammer. Okay, so the hammer plays a very important role in the forging. The operator or the any of the forging components which are been prepared are having an impact of force to get. Can you hear my voice? Hello? Hello? Can you all hear my voice? Okay. So say in the forging, the main important thing is the main equipment is the hammer and the holding device. The workpiece which is in a red hot condition, which has been heated in the furnace, okay, that should be hold, or the grip of that workpiece should be very proper, okay, and very essential and the important equipment is the hammer. The hammer is very important one because how much load the hammer applied on that workpiece, how much pressure is applied on that workpiece is very important to get the particular desired shape of that workpiece. Okay, so see, the workpiece, before cooling that workpiece, the workpiece is heated. Okay, then afterwards, before it cool down, within that short period of time, the continuous impact of blow means more continuous, a hammer blow is should be given on that workpiece so that before it cools, the particular workpiece should get its particular desired dimensional shape. Okay, that is a very important thing. For that reason, the hammer plays a very important role. If the weight of the hammer, okay, the weight of the hammer, then the speed of the hammer movement, okay, then the duration of the hammer from the initial stroke to the workpiece, okay, whatever the timing is there, that's are very important. Okay, if you lift your hand at 10 feet, 1 2 or 3 feet above, okay, from there hammer blow you are taking to the workpiece, so the whatever the distance from above to the workpiece that hammer is covered, that is also a very important thing. On that basis, that is called as a cycle time. On that basis, the hammers have been used, and particular the design, the hammer is to be identified. Okay, just imagine if the huge block is there, if a huge metal block is there, if you are using a small hammer to give an impact blow or an pressure on that one, okay, hand hammer, so that huge hand workpiece will not get the sufficient desired force to convert it or to change its shape, okay, with a small type of hand hammer. So the size of the workpiece depends on the size of the workpiece, the size of the hammer is also isn't very important. Okay, just imagine if the 2 feet workpiece is there. Okay, if it is a 2 feet workpiece, 1 minute. See see over here, at the bottom there is an anvil is there, and you can see over here there is an hot workpiece is there. Okay, hot workpiece is there. Okay, over here there is an upper die is there, and over here there is a bottom die is there. If you kept a workpiece over here, if you kept a hot workpiece over here, okay, see, this is a hot workpiece. Okay, and this is what the anvil is nothing but a support to the die, sorry. Okay, and this is a die. In this die there is a particular shape is there inside in that die. Okay, that particular shape will be adopted by that workpiece. Okay, so this is a hot workpiece is there. and this is an upper die. Okay, and this is a ram, and these are the two rollers are there. Just this is a drop, a board drop hammer. Okay, so just see the principle. So just see the principle. So see, this is on hot workpiece. Before cooling this workpiece, before this workpiece undergoes any cool condition, okay. Once it cools, so the property of that workpiece will be changed. Once the property change, which type of property will change? It is in hot condition, so it is in a soft condition. Okay, once it cools, the workpiece starts to become an hard. Once the workpiece starts to become an hard, so how much hammer blow, if you given any of the hammer blow to this one, it will not modified its shape. Okay, so before cooling that workpiece, the hammer should continuously blow should be given. Okay, so that the workpiece can change its shape. For the continuous blow, the weight of the hammer should be appropriately more. Okay, the speed of that hammer should be appropriately more. Okay, then only you can what you can say, utilized, or you can modified the workpiece. Okay, just 1 minute, I will share the videos to you. Let us see. Can you see the screen now? Okay, so see, this is a raw material. Okay, this is a raw material which has been heated in this furnace. Now you can see over here the furnace has been heating. Now see, this is the workpiece they have removed out, hot workpiece. Now this is the forging hammer is there. Okay, see, now you can see over there at the bottom, this is a die. Okay, and this is what the hammer is there. Hammer over here also there is one die is there. See, before the workpiece cool down, the continuous hammer blow should be given to that workpiece. Okay, if there is a delay in the hammer, okay, so what will happen? The workpiece cool faster rate, so it doesn't modify, it doesn't change over there. See, how the production is done. Forging, this called as a forging production. See, a round cylindrical bar is converted in such a way. See how much huge workpiece is that? Okay, it is kept in a proper position. Now, see, now the hammer is coming. Now you can see how the expansion is occurring. Okay, because it is heated. So when it is heated, it is in an property changing. Its properties is changing. Okay, so it becomes a soft. See, see how the shape is changed. So all the operations are done in a hot condition only of the workpiece. See over there. So grinding has been done for that one. See how it has been extended. So water is been supplied over there. See, there are the rollers are been given. So it has been made in a huge ring. See, there are the rollers are there. So see, this is a conical roller is there. Yeah, over here the side rollers are there. Before it cool down, the machining, all the machining operation are been should be done. Now see the open die forging. See the workpiece is removed out. Huge workpiece. So see this is an caliper. Hello, hello, connection. Can you hear my voice? Are you in the thing? Hello. Okay, okay. Some network problem. I don't know why the screen was gone. Okay, once again I will show. So say the notching is going on. Notching is nothing but a groove they have given for that one. Say a small V-shaped cut they have given to that workpiece. See, see how the V-shaped cut is been given to that workpiece. Step forging. This is called as a step forging. And half a portion of that workpiece has been forged now. See how the shape is changing. See, so this condition of the workpiece is called as a red hot condition. Okay. So the total workpiece has been heated. See, this is the finished product. This is progressive forging. What do you mean by the progressive forging? The continuous pressure is applied from one end to other end. Okay. Same load is applied on total overall length. Okay, that is called as an progressive forging. Okay. Now you can see how the workpiece has been moved forward. See, then once again from the initial position they starts. Progressive forging into a round shape. Okay. See, from once again from the first end it is starting. Now see the hammer forging. So from the furnace the workpiece has been removed out. Now you can see the hammer. See the movement of the hammer. Tons kgs of load is given. See, die is there. At the top one die is there, at the bottom die is there. See the finished product. This is how the forging product is been removed. See, before the workpiece cool, the forging product is to be removed out. Okay, now see the progressive forging. This is called as a progressive forging. From where the first blow is been started, okay, from there only the second blow will be starts. Say continuous blowing is been given, so this is what called as a progressive forging. Say progressive forging into a round shape. Open die hammer is there. See the hammer, how the round square to round bar is going to prepare. See, see this is the tongue. A person who is holding that one is called as a tongue to the workpiece. Now you can see the mouth of that tongue. It is in rectangular shape, triangular shape. See over there. So this is the mouth of the tongue. It is in triangular shape. See, a round bar is been prepared. So this is what the forging. In a die is passing. There is an upper die, lower die. Two dies are there. See, I hope you have understand some basic knowledge by these videos. Okay, see, open diforging in video you have seen. Okay, impression diforging also you have seen, closed diforging also explained. Okay, so the power hammers, so in these videos you have seen the hammers which are working automatically in sense means what, by the any of the electrical motor based. Okay, so the such types of hammers are called power hammers. Power hammers, also referred as the forging hammers, derive their power from the kinetic energy of the ram hammer and top portion of the die. When put into a motion, the ram arrives predetermined height where it stores the potential energy and will allow the drop potential energy to convert into a kinetic energy. Okay, so the power hammers are nothing but a new type of hammers. Okay, they are operated either by the gravitational force or either by the any of the what you can say, the electrical motor based or hydraulic or pneumatic based. Okay, so for one of the drop hammer you can see over here. So why it is called as a drop hammer? It works on the gravitational force. Okay, now see, this is an anvil. On the anvil the workpiece is kept. Okay, then over here the dies are there, upper die, lower die. Okay, whatever the die you have seen in this video, the die having the particular shape, that shape is been adopted by that workpiece. Over here there are the two rollers are there which are revolving in an opposite direction. One roller is revolving in this direction and another roller is revolving in this direction. Okay, these rollers are connected by any other source, that is the electrical or any other source. Okay, when they rotate in opposite direction, they lift the hammer in an upper side. Okay, once the hammer which is connected with a die comes at the upper side, that kinetic energy, okay, is converted into a potential energy. Then what's happened, once the hammer come at the upper side, so the rollers are been stopped and allowed that hammer, okay, to come in a downward position. Okay, the position, the force of that hammer is been plus or added, okay, two times by the gravitational force. Understood? So see, if you take a ball, if you push that ball in an uh, upper way in a sky, okay, if you throw the ball in a sky, what will happen, the whatever the pressure you have applied for going the ball in an upper to the sky, it takes the twice the pressure when it comes down, because first of all the weight and second one the force of the gravity attract the ball towards it. Okay, same way this drop hammer also works on the same principle. The rollers are being used for lifting that hammer. Once the hammer is been lifted at the top, with the force, with the gravitational force, the hammer starts to drop from the top to down. So that is why this type, this hammer is called as a drop board drop hammer, board drop hammer. Okay, because the hammer is been dropped from the top. Okay, with the gravitational force, it gives an impact pressure or the force on the workpiece and allow that workpiece to change this shape. Now next hammer we will see. We can see this is a steam hammer which works on the pneumatic base. Same principles are there. Okay, see over here there is an the main construction is a cylinder. You can see over here cylinder is there. Over here the piston at the bottom dead center, piston at the top dead center is there, upper port is there, lower port is there. Okay, steam in is there and steam out is there. Four forging is there, four lifting is there, ram is there. Okay, steam exhaust is there. You can see over here there are the two ports are there from where the steam is inletted and from the another port where the steam is been outletted. Okay, and it is connected to the piston inside the cylinder. Okay, there is a piston is there which is moving in a reciprocating direction, top dead center to and bottom dead center. This is the top dead center and this is the bottom dead center. Okay, this piston is connected with the piston rod and that piston rod is connected to the ram. You can see. Okay, that piston rod is connected to the ram, and over here as usual there are two dies are there and this one is on workpiece. Okay, one lower die is fixed to the anvil and the middle one is on workpiece and the upper die and this one is on ram. Now this is what a simple construction. Now let us see the working, how does it works. So see, the initial works of this hammer is the movement of the ram in upward and the downward direction. In upward direction it has to lift the ram. Okay, that is a hammer at an upward direction so that the position of the workpiece can be changed at the bottom. Then once the position is changed, the ram or the hammer should give the impact of blow onto this workpiece. Okay, full pressure is to be applied on this workpiece. So these are the two movements which has to be controlled of that hammer. So over here they have provided one cylinder. In this cylinder the two ports are there. Okay, and inside this cylinder a piston is there which is connected to the ram. For the upper movement, okay, the piston has to move from bottom to top dead center. Okay, from bottom to top dead center. Okay, from this is the bottom to top dead center the piston has to move. For this movement the lower port is there. From over here the steam which is generated from the steam cylinder. Okay, either it may be the hydraulic steam, pneumatic steam, sorry, not pneumatic, hydraulic steam or the water steam, any of the engine oil steam or the water steam is been there. The steam which is released with a pump or a high pressure inside to this cylinder which allows these pistons to move at a top side. Once the steam is inserted from over here which comes allow the piston to move at a top side. Okay, once the piston reaches to the top dead center, okay, then the ram position goes in an upper side. Then afterwards what happens, the ram has to move in a downward direction. Then this port wall is been slightly opened so that the steam comes out. Okay, and inserted from the upper port into the piston. So the piston pressure in inside the cylinder is generated at the from the top dead center and allowed the pistons to move in a bottom dead center so that the reciprocating movement can occur by the ram by which the impact blow is been given to the workpiece by the piston. Okay, now let us see the comparison between the board and the steam hammer. Now you can see over here the ram movement is by the frictional roller. Okay, in the board hammer we seen the roller are being used for the movement of the ram. The ram movement is being pressurized by the steam or air. So the this steam construction is there. Whatever the design you have seen of this steam hammer, it may be used for the steam also. Otherwise, in spite of the steam, you can use the pneumatic pressure, that is a high compressed air pressure you can use for the movement of the ram. Okay, the blow energy cannot be controlled. The mass and the weight of the fault remain fixed. The blow energy can be controlled and admitting the steel by admitting the steam below the piston while the descending. So see what is the difference in this one. See, in when this in drop bore drop hammer, when it's come from the top, okay, so it is called as a drop hammer. Drop hammer means what? So see, if you are standing on a building, if you throw a ball from the top, so it will go with the pressure. You cannot control that pressure. If you throw that ball by hanging some any of the wire or something, so you can hold or you can control that pressure slowly with the help of that wire which is connected to that ball. Slowly you can throw that ball down like this way only. In the drop hammer there is no control for the hammer which is coming from the top. Okay, directly with the help of the gravitational force the hammer is been released from the top to bottom. Okay, but in the condition of when steam and the pneumatic okay, this type of cylindrical hammer, okay, steam or the pneumatic hammer, you can control the movement of the hammer or you can control the pressure of that hammer by controlling the steam which is inserted from this both the port. If you release the steam slowly, so the pressure of the piston movement will be also in a slow speed. If you are releasing the speed or the air in a high speed, so the piston movement will be also in a high speed. Okay, so this is what the difference between the drop and the steam airlines. Suitable for the open type forging, suitable for open tie and closed forging both. Okay, so the less problem due to stock noise and vibration, greater forging capacity results comparatively more noise and vibration. So obviously the equipments are more over here. Okay, when the steam and the pressure is releases from the cylinder with a high pressure, so it makes some sound. And these types of hammers, drop hammers, are used for the small production. So small weights are there, small size the hammer is there, so no sound and the vibration is not much more. So the steam and the pneumatic type hammers are being used for the mass production and the use type of the workpiece. So due to which the impact blow is very high, and also the this one what you can say, the noise is very high. So for example, just in the previous classes I have told you that in our when you come to our college, Maratha Mandal Engineering College, okay, so when you pass your bus from the Bauxite Road from the at upper side, you have seen the Tina Bakul forging is there. So that forging is running in their industry, but the sound is coming up to the highway. Okay, whatever the hammer blow sound is there, that is coming up to the highway, so you can clearly hear the sound of that hammer blow. Okay, so this is what the difference between the drop hammer and the steam hammer. Now next you can see the pneumatic hammer over here. So see, in the pneumatic hammer, the you can see the construction. See the anvils, the two anvils are there, in the workpiece is there over here, same piston is there. Okay, now you can see there are the two ports are there. See, in the construction there are two ports are there. Say two ports are there. Okay, the compressed air is there over here. Okay, this is the piston. Compressor cylinder is there over here. The connecting rod is there. This connecting rod is connected to the gear system. Okay, and these gear systems are connected by the electrical motor. Okay, which is been